Hey, what's going on? This is your man Jay, Washington Commander fans, and this is the first episode. And today we're going to be talking about PFF scores. And what we're going to do is take a look at some of the players we brought in, free agents, as well as some of the guys we already have on the squad. So with that being said, we'll start with Amik Robertson, who I like, spark plug kind of guy. But I'm just going to say we're going to go straight from the PFF, and I'm going to read it right here. It says PFF score for cornerback Amik Robertson earned 48.6 overall PFF defensive grade in 2025 season. That is 109th among 114 qualified cornerbacks. So these kind of reality checks, ladies and gentlemen. I love his interview. I love what he has to say. I love his fire. I did like some of the plays that he did last year, but when you look at YouTube, that's going to be the case for every single player you probably watch, right? So let's move on. His PFF coverage grade of 48.8 ranked 106 among 114 qualified cornerbacks. His run defensive grade of 49.0 ranked 90th at that position. He recorded one interception on the season. Pause in there. Let you guys take that in. One interception on the season. Now, in the interview, he said he missed a lot. He dropped a lot, or he just missed a lot of interceptions. So, okay, no problem. Broke up 9 passes in coverage, which is decent, right? But here's the kicker. Here's one of the things that I'm kind of concerned about. He allowed 109.3 passer rating when targeted by opposing quarterbacks. He surrendered 65 receptions in coverage. Now, he did contribute in 46 solo tackles in the run support and open field situations. So, that's one of the things that we saw on video where he was making open field tackles and making some good plays. But with that 48.6 overall PFF defensive grade, his scores are lower than Mikey's, who was 52.7, and Trey Amos, who was 55.8. So we'll keep an eye on that. I think that's the reason why they're kind of still looking at cornerbacks. But I do like Amik Robertson. And maybe, things will improve when he gets into this new defense. Hopefully that has their eyes on the quarterback and it's not so much in man. But we'll see. We just don't know what's going to happen here. But there's a reason why they brought him in, obviously. And I can't imagine it being his ability to play man, because if he's giving up 109.3 passer rating, well, yeah, that's a problem, right? So moving on to Mr. Chason, who is an edge defender. He earned 60.4 overall PFF defensive grade in 2025. Scores 80 among 115 qualified edge defenders. PFF pass rush grade of 62.7, ranked 66 above 115 qualified edge defenders. And his run defense grade of 49, which is really good, ranked him on 104 at that position. He generated 54 total pressures as a pass rusher. 54. That's amazing. 54. That means those pressures are taking quarterbacks off their spot, which is what you want, especially in this type of defense. At least the defense that we think we're going to be getting. Had 9 sacks, 34 hurries, 11 hits. Against the run, he recorded 17 solo tackles. He also forced 2 fumbles on the season. So, solid defender, solid edge guy. I think we've got, I think we got one, right? Now, the other, obviously, the other edge defender is Odafe Owe, who is a 73.7 overall PFF defensive grade. Now, I won't go too much into him. I mean, 73 is great. So we don't even need to go any further. He had, 8 sacks, 30 hurries, 9 hits. Now, he had 47 total pressures. Chason had 54. And so they're about balanced here. Chason had 9 sacks. Owe had 8. Chason had 34 hurries. Owe had 30. And Chason had 11 hits. Owe had 9. And it looks like Yeah, they pretty much balanced, man. You got 17 solo tackles for Chason, and OA had 20 solo tackles. Moving on, right? So I think we're good on the edge, right? As far as you know, capabilities, right? We've got some pretty good capabilities on the edge. Leo Chanel is a linebacker. Obviously, his score was pretty high, 75.1 overall PFF grade. 11th among 88 qualified in coverage. 11th. So he is a great coverage linebacker. Right? Great coverage linebacker. His pass rush grade of 57.2 ranks 65th among qualified linebackers. He recorded 31 solo tackles on the season, generated 11 total pressures, including 3 sacks as a blitzer. Now here's one also, right? He allowed 98.8 passer ratings when targeted and covered. So as much as we talk about Bobby Wagner, that's pretty damn high, 78.8 passer rating. He was charged with 4 missed tackles over the course of the season, right? But I do like his overall 75.1. I think the one thing that hopefully, again, this defense is not going to be putting people on islands or putting players on islands for man-to-man. But, I mean, obviously there's no way to get around it. At some point you're going to have to do it. So with this 98.8 passer rating, we're going to have to tighten that up or I mean, I'm just not sure how that's going to work because obviously with that kind of rating, he's going to get targeted quite a bit. You know, Jordan McGee, right? He wasn't one of the free agents, but he earned a 54.9 overall PFF defensive grade in 2025. Let's move down here. He allowed 121.6 passer rating when targeted in coverage. So, I mean, that's almost perfect. Anytime you throw the ball at McGee, at least last year, they were completions. He was charged with 7 missed tackles over the course of the year. His overall score was 54.9 overall. So while, let me just move down to the guy that I'm kind of pointing to, Bobby Wagner, right? Who we keep saying is slow or keep saying that is, a problem in coverage, right? You got Bobby Wagner. You got Jordan McGee at 121 passer rating. You've got, Chanel 98.8 passer rating when targeted. Bobby Wagner's 107. So he's right there in the middle of those two guys. Not much higher than than Chanel, right? Chanel, I think that's how you put Leo. I'll just say Leo. Not much higher than him, right? But here's the kicker with Bobby, right? Bobby, he earned a 78.6, highest amongst those two, right? Leo was 75.1, Bobby was 78.6, right? 9th among 88 qualified linebackers. His PFF coverage grade of 51.1 ranked 51st among 88 qualified linebackers. So you could be better, obviously. There's others over him, but it ain't these two. His run defensive grade of 90.3 ranked 5th at the position. His pass rush grade of 92.4 ranked 2nd. Second, guys, among qualified linebackers. He recorded 107 solo tackles on the season. He generated 20 total pressures, including 5 sacks as a blitzer. Right? Chanel, everybody's screaming about Chanel. He had 3 sacks as a blitzer. Bobby had 5. He allowed 107, as we talked about, 107 pass rating when targeted in coverage. He was charged with 8 missed tackles over the course of the season. So he does have a higher missed tackle total than, I'll just say, Leo, because obviously McGee didn't play as much football last year as Bobby did. But guys, look, he has the highest PFF score. He's got much more tackles. He's not as bad as we think in the passing game. And he's going to be your tackling machine. The rest of these guys, 30 solo tackles, 40 solo tackles for McGee. Chanel, and you've got the coaches saying they have great confidence in those guys, and I get it, but your production is going down. if you let if Bobby Wagner's on this defense, based on what we see now, based on what we already know, your production is going to go down, right? At linebacker. So I don't think we're as strong as we think we are at the linebacker position, and I don't think we're as strong as we think we are at the cornerback position by picking up Amik Robinson. And because, like I said, although I like him, I mean, 109.3 passer rating. So anytime that we're in man, there's nothing that's changing from last year based on what I see, unless we get a better, get more faster pressure. And it looks like maybe Odafe Owe and Janelle, and maybe the fact that they're probably going to be coming with a lot more blitzes might improve the situation. But if they ever get into situations where they're in the wrong defense, and the quarterback is sitting there in the pocket for any amount of time, I don't see any guy in the secondary that's going to give you a pass breakup or any type of situation where the pass is not going to be completed. That's at the linebacker position or in the secondary. So not trying to be the bearer of bad news, but I still think we got a lot of improvement obviously to do. And I don't know. I think it's really going to come down to scheme. Obviously, they brought in Amik Robinson for a reason, and I don't think they really paid attention to this 48.6 overall PFF defensive grade. So all of these guys you could take with a grain of salt, and obviously we know if you play football that every year is not. I mean, last year is not indicative of what's going to happen the following year, and also. Scheme definitely does have something to do with how you play and communication. The one thing that I think that will be beneficial to us is, at least I hope, is that we have a cornerback whisperer or a secondary whisperer in our defensive coordinator that will help them play faster and play with a little bit more football IQ. Because I think that's what we suffered from last year. We had a lot of guys that were that was playing hero ball. We had a lot of guys that was, eyes in the wrong place. A lot of guys that were trying to just didn't really know what to do. I mean, Mikey actually came. I think he was on social media one time talking about before the defensive coordinator got fired, that it wasn't him. It was kind of what was going on with the defense. Now, a lot of guys are saying, I mean, I don't know, like our defensive coordinator changed, but our secondary coach didn't change. So unless he's coming with some new language or some new energy, it's still something that I'm kind of worried about or concerned with, if you will. So that's it for me. 13 minutes. I ain't gonna keep on long. This is the first episode. Y'all be good here.